Hi guys, so in this video I'm gonna show you how to start writing workshop with a 4.5-year-old child. So it varies, when a child is 4.5 years old, not every child is able to write sentences and words even, but it depends upon you. Like if you have already taught your child to, write down 3-letter words and 4-letter words like the consonant blends and so on, you can start with this. So ask your child to draw, and before this you can just continue with the drawing process. Before your child actually starts writing words and alphabets, you can just ask your child to draw and ask them to just draw what they feel like. Okay, so suppose your child can draw trees and clouds and huts, so you can actually guess what I'm actually going to tell you is this is a hut. So ask the child to draw a hut, or just ask your child to draw anything. You can give them topics like let's draw a village or anything, and then then when the child draws a dog, then you have to ask the child to write dog. Tree, then you have to ask the child to write tree. Birds, for example, then the child has to write bird. And pond, for example. So gradually, automatically, when the child wants to add more elements to the drawing, um, you know uh, words also starts coming out. So pond, and then obviously when the child draws pond, then you'll ask the child, okay, let us draw a frog or a duck. Okay, please excuse my drawing right now. Okay, so this is a duck, and this is a frog. Okay, for example. Okay, so frog. So this is how, this you have to do together with the child. Just you draw something, then the child draws something, you write down, the child writes down, because child really, like kids, they like to copy what we do. So yeah, let's make the most of it. Okay, so this was the first part after drawing. Okay, so in the writing workshop, the first step is drawing, and the second step is labeling. Okay, and post this I'm going to show what we did. So the child can actually start writing thank you notes. Okay, that like this was written to the tooth fairy, and this was an instruction that she gave to her brother. And this is something, when they start drawing, the child sorry, the child can now start writing sentences. Okay, so she made the drawing and then she wrote the sentence here. The boy was playing in the garden. She can actually elaborate it here. She was playing with a balloon, and then there were flowers. So, and then the story title is The Boy. Okay, so let us have a look at this. Down the coast. Okay, this is something that she has just done, a copy work of something. Okay, see, this is another writing piece from her workshop. And please excuse the spellings, because when we teach through phonics, we don't emphasize a lot on spellings, because that is a later part that we have to work on. Right now, just ignore their spelling mistakes, because only through writing they will be able to rectify these errors. The more they write, the better they get at spellings. Okay, so again, this is the story of a cat. The cat was standing in the grass, and see, here it is, the dog and the cat. The dog was playing in the grass, the cat was playing with the dog. I love you. Okay, and this is the cow was playing in the garden and the sun was shining. So it's like so simple, and yet it's cute, right, to start with a writing workshop. So now I would like to tell you about this book. Okay, so you can actually get this book from her website. Okay, it's an ebook, and it's amazing because it has writing resources. I'm gonna show you like how I created this writing folder. Um, all these materials, these worksheets were inside this pack. Okay, I'm gonna show you this also. And this tells you, that if you are starting it with a kindergarten, what are the steps that you follow. If you're starting it with a grade 1 child, what are the steps that you follow, and so on. So that is why it says that it's for grade K to 8. So you can start from any grade. It doesn't really matter if you have missed out on the previous grades. Okay, so this is a note that I've made, because I just can't read the whole book again. I can, but just to have a gist of exactly what this book is about, I made the note of it. Okay, so you know, it's like genre unit, poetry writing, narrative writing, 3 to 6 weeks, how you can plan your writing workshops. This book is really nice, you know. I would really recommend you to read it and then start. So these are the, like, you know, you start with the non-genre and then one more non-genre, then include genres. Okay, different types: narrative writing, and then descriptive writing, persuasive writing, book reviews, and you know, there's so many things that the child can write in their writing workshop. So it gives you different categories to work on. So how to read like writers, you know, when you write, you have to write it like a writer, so you have to read like a writer. So this is how, you know, like for kindergarten writing ideas. So what's the writing process? Okay, so the writing process includes pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. So pre-writing means that you make plans for the writing, like what exactly you're gonna write after having a topic. What would you like to write there? Drafting means that you compose the text. Revising means that you make changes to the content. Editing means fixing errors in grammar and punctuation and spellings. Then comes the publishing part, preparing the finished piece of for your audience. Pre-writing would be, you know, illustrating, free writing, reading and rereading, listing ideas, and gathering. And so in this book they give you a detail of the each part that I have shown you, you know, like what comes under writing. Pre-writing is listening, sketching, researching, brainstorming ideas. Then comes your drafting part. So they have a writer's craft terminology that they have used, which means that, you know, the content of piece, what kind of beginning, how to start with, you know, it's like a craft work. Writing is also a craft. So how can you start your story to make it an interesting one and, you know, to please your audience? So it gives you the tricks for everything. Then comes, you know, revising is actually arms. When you are revising, when your child revises his or her work, they have to follow arms is like add words and sentences, remove words and sentences, move words and sentences, substitute word and sentences. So now you can see, you know, what all goes in the writing workshop. It is not just you just write a piece and you give it to people to read. No, we have so many things that we have to do. Then comes editing part. So editing is more of, you know, it is abbreviated as CUPS: capitalization, usage, punctuation, spelling. Okay, it comes under editing. And then comes mentor text. You know, what is actually mentor text? This is very important. So initially when you begin with writing, you have to give your kids something that they can actually see and work on. Be their favorite book, for example Gruffalo. Ask the child to have a look at Gruffalo because they know the story, and ask the child to change the character, ask the child to change the setting, ask the child to change the problem, ask the child to change the solution. Okay, so this actually helps your child to think and they can come up with their own story. So initially when they start writing, this is what we have to do. We have to ask the child to, you know, make their own version of a story that they have already read. Okay, so then, you know, for KG1, so for kindergarten, you can make counting books and then essays. So, you know, there are so many things. There are fairy tales and historical fiction, descriptive essays, so many topics that you can actually work on. And then writing books on how to, for information books, like writing books, literary, non-fiction, and, you know, writer's craft. In writer's craft, they again emphasize on figurative language that I told you, it's so important. And if you have a reluctant writer, you should start with poetry. Okay, so that's it, I think. Yes, so this is how things were there. Sensory details, as I already discussed in the first part of the video. So yes guys, so I've given you a brief about this book, but I know that it didn't cover exactly everything that was in this. But you can actually, I would recommend you to have this book if you are keen on, you know, starting your own writing workshop. So now in part 3 of my video, I'm gonna show you the folder that was created by using the materials that was given in this book.